Here we are with another Thomas Wooden Railway video, and in today's video we are going to be taking another deep dive into OG Thomas Wooden Railway. Now, I have actually reviewed this set here on my channel, the Instant System Set number 1, or otherwise known as the original 14-piece set. I reviewed this set back in September of 2023. I will pin that video down below in the comment section, but beware, the production quality is so much lower simply because I was just kind of winging YouTube. I was just making videos for fun because I was bored and I had my collection at hand. I really didn't have plans for YouTube. I had no idea that I would still be making content over a year later. And so here we are. But in today's video, we'll be reviewing this original 1992 brand new in the box 22-piece starter set. But I bring all of that up because at the time I felt so lucky to have this set brand new in the box. It's not from 1992, it is from 1994. As you can see from the Thomas, it is from 1994. But now I feel even luckier to have this set brand new. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And so the most interesting part about the box is going to be the backside. This is just pure eye candy. This really is a lost art within Thomas & Friends merchandise. We just don't see this effort nowadays, and we have not seen this effort for an incredibly long time. Here we have the original prototype set with the original prototype Thomas and Gray Troublesome Truck and the special engine shed. This set was in possession of Roy Wilson, which is a fun fact. Here we have the classic Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends logo. This packaging really just comes across as being very genuine. They know they have a good product, and so they're just showing it off completely. Whether it's the high quality paintwork, the fact that the line is completely wooden, it's very simple, not overly complicated or overly detailed, unlike the current line nowadays, which is a failure. They know what is successful, and it's what you're looking at right now. Here we have the bottom of the packaging, and here we see Britt Allcroft Thomas Limited, 1992. Here is the side of the packaging. It says Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends Wooden Railway 22-piece starter set. Thomas is just very pleasing to look at. This engineer is pretty funny. He's very simplistic. Now, of course, let's talk about the front of the packaging, starting with the price tags. Now, the price tags were actually rubbed off or ripped off from what looks like to be on purpose. We actually have some fuzz here. And so that's kind of interesting. And now the seller actually said that he tried to open the packaging and did not know how because he wanted to check if the items were brand new. Yeah, that makes no fucking sense. So I went ahead and actually retaped the packaging with some packing tape. It's not perfect, but it's not my fault that the seller is a moron. And then on the sides of the packaging, we have the classic Britt Allcroft logo. Gotta love it. Classic characters, all the characters we need. In the bottom left, for Thomas's friends, ages 2 years and up. Gotta love it. Then in the bottom right, Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, made of wood. So classic, so nostalgic. Really just simple eye candy. I will say everything does slide out of the box pretty easily, but I just don't like how the top flap is designed. You kind of have to rip it off itself just to get everything out. It's kind of risky. I think I did an okay job. Not perfect, but we got everything out. Nothing ripped. We're okay. Now let's take a look at this 1992 Thomas and Gray Troublesome Truck. Now this Thomas is just flat out gorgeous. The blue is so much darker in person than on camera. It's very rich. And of course, his famous face is gorgeous based off the first season of the TV series. It really is not hard to nail a face for Thomas the Tank Engine. Bachman. And so they did it perfectly here. We also have the flat magnets, the thin wheels, the flat funnel and flat dome, and then the lines where the pieces were glued together. It's very simple, yet it's my favorite Thomas model in my collection as of right now by far. I love it. And then the classic, famous laughing face on the gray troublesome truck, seen in the TV series a million times. Really just a perfect yet simple piece of rolling stock that allows for so much play and use of your imagination. So for this set, Thomas and a troublesome truck, it's perfect. By the way, this set does not fit on my table, so we're going to be going to the floor, sadly. And also, I just took the picture for the thumbnail of this video. But I also forgot to mention one very important thing about this set. This set was actually available for mail-in order for Christmas of 1992. As you can see in this image here, and then you also see this image here displayed next to the original cast of engines and rolling stock, which is Annie and Clarabelle and Henrietta. And accompanied by the fact that the back of this box has the prototype Thomas and gray troublesome truck in possession of Roy Wilson. I personally believe this is the first ever released Thomas Wooden Railway set. The original set that started the line and started the best line of merchandise for the Thomas & Friends brand. So here we are on the ground. Sadly, my body hurts already. With the set up completely. Here we have the railroad signs, some trees, the Fat Controller himself. I love these figures with the paper decaling. I know the paper comes off, but I personally take very good care of my items, so for someone like me, this is no problem at all. It looks very nice. And then we also have the original Thomas, accompanied by the giggling gray troublesome truck. Just amazing. I'm so happy to have this set. We have another tree over here, another railroad sign. Then we have a driver or a fireman. I like to believe this is Thomas's driver. Then we have the V-switch, just a 4-inch piece of track to store the troublesome truck on when Thomas is having a rest or a snooze in the special engine shed. So this set is very nice. It's an incredibly strong starter set in my opinion, because you do get an engine, a piece of rolling stock, plenty of trees. They don't even sell trees anymore, nor do they sell signs. And then we also get 2 figures, the Fat Controller, and a driver or fireman. Not to mention 2 switches, one of them being the V-switch, which is pretty rare within Thomas Wooden Railway sets, I'd like to say. And then also you do get the special engine shed, which was much more common back in the day, but still a very strong starter set. So here is why sets like these in the original Thomas Wooden Railway line was just fucking perfect. So they never made you go out and buy more merchandise. They never really forced you. This set gives you plenty to have fun with and really use your imagination with Thomas and the gray troublesome truck, the figures, the switches. Just the setup of this starter set is really strong and perfect in my opinion. But you can make even more fun stories if you add on to the set by just adding a few pieces that were available at this time. Whether it's the original troublesome brake van, adding in Henry, the strong goods engine, Gordon's equal. This is the 1993 Henry, released sometime in this time frame. Not the very first version, but still, adding pieces like this is going to make for an even more fun experience. I didn't even add on any track, any destinations, just another character and piece of rolling stock. And already we have so much more room for fun and use of your imagination. And watch me have even more fun. So while Thomas handles the goods work in the yard, we are going to go over here to where Henry is waiting patiently, and we are going to add on the Knapford Express coach. Now, again, this is not the original Knapford Express coach, but this coach was sold in this time frame. So we're going to give Henry the Knapford Express coach. Henry, also very good at carrying passengers, as he does in the TV series, showing Henry the respect he deserves. That was not shown in the CGI series. But once again, this just shows just how simple and versatile the Thomas Wooden Railway line is. And it's such high quality, if you couldn't tell, by these engines, pieces of rolling stock, and just the pieces in general. It's a very gorgeous line. But this is why I'm so passionate about the OG Thomas Wooden Railway line, because we are so deprived of something this good nowadays within the Thomas & Friends world, and especially children nowadays. I mean, these types of toys are not being sold nowadays. They're not available on store shelves. They're not even available online either, really, unless you're on eBay like myself. Parents are not going to be buying this for their kids. I mean, they should, but I don't think they are, especially for the price of that I paid for this set, which, by the way, about $140 brand new in the box. I think that's a really good deal. I'll take that. That's an easy purchase. But once again, this is just showing why I'm so passionate about the OG Thomas Wooden Railway line. Really, nothing beats it. I am taking this one step further. Why not? Let's add in the original 1992 Black Wheel Terrence and then the original Windmill. And then all we need is the original Annie and Clarabelle for Thomas to pull. And then we can remake scenes from Thomas, Terrence in the Snow, where Thomas and Terrence meet for the very first time at Terrence's field, which we have recreated here. Or we can also recreate the intro scene using the Windmill, Thomas, Annie, and Clarabelle. You see how that works? Everything just works with Thomas Wooden Railway. And then also we have Henry over here joining in on the fun. While Thomas is pulling Annie and Clarabelle, Henry could pull the troublesome trucks, and maybe you can recreate a scene from the Flying Kipper. But anyway, you know what? Before we go, I want you guys to listen to this audio. Yeah, I'm out of words. I think I've said everything I need to say about the original set for this line. I think just showing you is doing it justice. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.